Hey, what's good guys, it's Bertrude. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now I've got a few builds in Elden Ring that utilise lightning, but they all do it in their own unique ways. They use different weapons, different spells, but they all get the job done. This is one of those builds. This one's called the Lightning Blade. Let's start off by taking a look at our weapons. For our main right hand weapon, we'll be alternating between two options, the first one of those being a lightning infused Godskin Peeler. This is a really good weapon option for any build. It's one of the best twin blades in the game and it gives us some really good damage returns. The Ash of War on this one is Lightning Slash. It's quite hard to land, but that's quite irrelevant because what we're using this weapon out for is the damage that we get on the weapon afterwards. We get this really cool lingering lightning effect on the weapon after we've used the weapon art. We usually can't buff lightning infused weapons with greases, but using this weapon art allows us to get the extra lightning damage on top of the infusion, which gives us a nice bit of extra damage. For our second main weapon option on the build, we've got the Veteran's Prosthesis. What this weapon offers is a very different playstyle to the Peeler. It still does lightning damage. It's always good to have variation on the build, mix things up and keep it fresh. I also really like the Ash of War on this weapon. In my offhand, I'll always be carrying the Stormhawk axe. I've become a big fan of using axes in the offhand to mix up my weapon attacks. It's worked well on a couple of other builds that I've made, so this one fits the theme of the build here and I definitely wanted to include it. Obviously I have to mention the weapon art on this axe. It's good there to have as an option if you need it. It can get you out of a pinch when you're in a tricky situation. It can turn the fight on its head and pull you a win out the bag when you thought a win was impossible. And then finally, in the second weapon slot on our right hand, we'll be carrying the lightning infused rapier with the Ash of War Thunderbolt. This is really good to turn to when you've got a low health player trying to get away from you. Pull out the weapon, cast the Ash of War and you guarantee the kill. Let's take a quick look at our stats on this one. We're a level 80 build, we've got 40 vigour. We don't need much strength, but we've piled all our points into dexterity. We've got 11 faith, which when mixed with our flask, giving us a 10 extra faith from our flask, we're able to use a seal that we're using plus our 2 incantation options. And speaking of our incantations, we've got 2 to choose from as I said, the first one being Dragon Bolt Blessing. I just thought thematically this was a really cool option to have on the build. It infuses our body with lightning and it makes smaller weapon attacks bounce off us, which is always amusing mid-fight. And then finally we've got Lightning Spear. This isn't a big flashy incantation, but when you mix this into everything else that the build offers, it rounds it all up really nicely and it's good to have another long range option on the build. And that pretty much rounds this build up guys, so you know what time it is. It's time for you lot to sit back, get your feet up, get yourselves a cup of tea, maybe a few biscuits if you're a bit peckish, you know, you've not had your lunch, get yourselves a little snack before your lunch, tea and biscuits, banging. Anyway, see you next time guys, enjoy the video.
wanna go, I'm down. If you wanna go,